As gamers, competition is a fundamental part of who we are. When I started out, I was just trying to improve myself, but the more I felt like I was part of a like-minded community, the more rewarding it became to climb the leaderboards. It's been awesome to pick up small tips from people I've met and be able to look back and feel confident in things I used to really struggle with personally. For example, tracking. I think if you take aim training seriously, you can reach that feeling of accomplishment too. In this video, we're going to explore what I think are some of the most valuable features in Aimlabs. You'll learn about the result screen, task scores, the replay system, leaderboards, and Aimlabs rank seasons. When you finish a task in Aimlabs, your score is automatically submitted to a global leaderboard that helps you visualize where your aim matches up with your previous scores, other top aimers, and your friends. Next, you'll be looking at a result screen which tells you how you did in the task you just played. What was your score, how many shots you took, your accuracy, and many more detailed stats. The thing most people notice right away is their score. Scores are a fundamental part of playing tasks within Aimlabs. Your score is the feedback on how well you did alongside the more specific feedback offered by the trainer. For example, some flicking tasks will earn you a score, but if your accuracy is too low, that score will be heavily affected by that. Some flicking tasks have an accuracy multiplier actually, so be careful. Although that does not happen in tracking and switching. In these two categories, score and accuracy mean the same thing since there's no clicking involved pretty much. From the result screen, a really cool feature is that you can actually see the replay you just finished or previous ones, or actually replays of any other player that you see in the leaderboards. So you can see kind of what the pros are up to in popular tasks. You can compare it to other people in the leaderboards and even check the settings that they were playing on. Most people have never really watched themselves aim, to be honest, while it's super valuable. Just as VOD reviewing yourself in your game. Replay system can help us identify, for example, bad habits when flicking, such as overflicking, not starting the flick with high speed, dragging our mouse instead of flicking, etc. There are also a couple of visual aids that you can toggle which might help us identify bad habits like the ones I mentioned previously, such as the trading path, which it indicates how fast our movements were. Now, if you're someone who is always looking for new and interesting tasks to play, Aimlab has its own ranked ladder and seasonal rank specific tasks across flicking, tracking, and switching. If you have played any other competitive games, then this rank system should feel familiar to you and give you that same dopamine rush when you achieve a new rank. All of these tools and things we just talked about are all to direct you towards a healthy competition, with yourself, with your friends, or with people you look up to. The rush I mentioned earlier, the feeling of self-superation, is a very common feeling in aim training, so I'm just giving you a slight introduction to it. Your turn. Play any task. Once you reach the result screen, check how you did. How was your score and your position? Take a look at the replay screen and see if you can find any mistakes. For example, in this replay of mine, you can kinda see that I was overflicking constantly when going from one target to another. I'll try to work on that from now on. surface when it comes to aiming, of course, but hopefully you have gained a better understanding of where to start and the basics in general. I want to leave you guys with some of my personal advice. These are 4 recommendations I wish someone had told me when I was starting out my own aim training journey. Once you find a task or routine for your game that you enjoy, be consistent with your training, hopefully multiple days in a row. However, I also learned that it is not necessary at all to overdo yourself in aim training. Spending several hours in aim trainers leads up to injuries and burnout, so be careful. Also, do not be scared to try out new things. Aim training is all about challenging yourself with new tasks, skills, and routines to find what works best for you. From my experience as an aim coach, even though many players share similar characteristics, everyone is different. You're going to have your own strengths and weaknesses, so always keep that in mind when grinding and building your aim mechanics. It's all about developing and refining your own style. And last but not least, and I know this can be a difficult one, don't focus only on your score. Especially if you're just starting out, you should focus on gradually identifying and fixing your mistakes. This is why limit testing is super important. If everything feels perfect and you're always comfortable all the time, it will be hard to find progress. This is why it is important to always challenge yourself, whether it is speed, accuracy, or something about your aim beyond the stats. Also, if you would like to join a space surrounded by people from the community where you can ask questions and chat about anything aim related, feel free to join the official Aimlab Discord. It feels great to be able to give back and help brand new users of Aimlabs. Thank you for watching and listening, and I hope to see you guys in another Academy lesson very soon. Bye bye.
Hello guys, I am Average Jonas, content creator, singer, streamer. I play a lot of Valorant, I sing a lot, I go rock climbing, I touch grass occasionally for my IRL channel. Welcome to my course on improving with Aimlabs. Aim training is very interesting to me. I have a master's degree in sports science. I have a lot of background in learning how to exercise your body to a specific task, and aim training is the same thing in a lot of ways. Imagine a soccer match where there's one penalty that you have to shoot. If you score the penalty, you win the entire tournament. You probably have spent thousands of hours practicing on that one kick. And sometimes there's not even one penalty in a full match. Most of the time it's not actually. But still, the guy who is the designated penalty kicker, he's probably spending hours and hours every single day practicing his penalty kicks. So even if you don't always see it, you have to realize that behind every pro player or every high-performing artist, there is thousands of hours of practice. A lot of the time, very boring practice too, but it's part of the commitment to become good at what you do. So one of the problems a lot of people have is that when you're training for a certain exercise, you don't necessarily see the results straight away. And this is where motivation comes into play and thinking about the long-term goals. For instance, in Valorant, you can say that in 6 months from now, I want to be immortal or radiant or something. So if you can see that your rank is improving over time, that is a long-term commitment, but you don't necessarily see it on the day-to-day basis, but you still need to initiate the day-to-day practice to reach that goal. I would highly recommend trying to find ways where you enjoy your training more, because then you're more likely to improve faster because you're doing it more. And you know, just like with anything in the world, if you're enjoying it, you're probably going to stick around to doing it for a longer time. We have definitely had a huge technological advance in how easy it is to work on a specific task. If you're bad at flicking, you can practice that specifically. If you're bad at tracking or crosshair placement, there's a specific task for that too. But 10 years ago, there wasn't really any good task for that. People had to make their tasks on their own, or just play deathmatch, or just play ranked games, which are a lot less inefficient if you're going to practice that one thing.